join us. All right. 1 sec. We got one more guy. I forgot Teddy was going to join us today. Okay, so thank you to our panel of experts who were able to join us. I'm gonna turn it over to you guys to introduce yourselves and also talk about where you work. And then afterwards we'll start with the conversation. But Allissa, let's start with you.
I was actually just making content there, so what no time. Hi, my name is Allissa Johnson. I'm the executive director of Bricker Price Block, which is this beautiful historic building. We run programming and events like Kids Club summer camps, senior speaker series, and events like Earlham's Bacon Bash and a harvest gathering farm to table. So we do lots of different things, and I run the whole show. So that means I do the social media, all the programming, and the events and all the things. So that's me.
Okay, thank you. Nicole?
I'm Nicole Kems, and owner of Angel Wings and Country Things, a clothing boutique and gift and home decor store there on the west side of the downtown square in Winterset. And then above that, we have Aerie Loft, which is an Airbnb. And jack of all trades there, like Allissa, and just, yeah, always plugging away to do better with marketing.
Thank you, Nicole. Emily?
Hi, everybody. I'm Emily Marshall. My husband and I are, oh, of course, we're going to pause.
We can still hear you.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm Emily Marshall. My husband, Paul, and I are the owners of Mr. Post Frame, which is a barndominium build company that is in central and southern Iowa. And then we're also the owners of Back 40 Buildings, which is a barndominium architectural design firm that designs all over the country and in Canada for folks. So I'm really excited to share what I know. We have been full-time content creators for almost 5 years now. So there's a lot that we've learned and can't wait to talk about it.
Thank you, Emily. And last but not least, we have Kimberly. Take it away, Kimberly.
Yeah, my name is Kimberly Hawn. I live in Waukee, Iowa. I am a digital marketing specialist for a company called Hibu, which is their headquarters is located in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, but we cover all 50 states.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies. We're excited to get this conversation started. For our guests today, if you guys have any questions, please add them to the chat and I will intermittently ask our panel of experts your question. So I'm gonna just do a round robin. Allissa, we'll start with you. How do you use social media in your everyday life at work?
Yeah, so I just try to show up and show up often. So every day I'm popping on stories. Like I explained, I have programming and events, so I'm posting. And to be more specific, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and a teeny tiny bit on TikTok. It's a hard one to show up on for me, but mainly Facebook and Instagram are my main things. So I'm showing up on stories every day, talking about the events and programming, because the one question that everyone has is, what are you doing up there? And so that's how I show what we're doing up here is I show up and on any way that I can. So I'm making reels showing that. I am, like I said, showing up in stories. I'm posting about different events. I'm showing our best content, which is kids and senior citizens engaging in our programming. So that's specifically how I use social media.
Very thorough. Nicole, how do you use social media?
Well, a combination of things, and our best traction that we get is from the Facebook live video we do on Wednesdays. We do a weekly video for 1 hour, which includes giveaways on that. And we're incorporating some 3 to 5-minute live videos here soon. We created a space for it and be able to do that. But I think our biggest traction to get people to our website and is that Facebook live video, which we do have model, me and another lady we switch clothes and we try on clothes and we talk about the product, and we really celebrate our products. And so there we have quite a little following from that. But we also do Instagram, stories, reels, and posts, a combination. And then I've tied my Facebook, so when I'm doing my Instagram, which is real important, it automatically goes to my Facebook with a little toggle, and so I don't have to double dip on all of those posts, and because it can be a little overwhelming. And then I don't forget to also use my personal Nicole Kems Facebook, and post on that and do a combination of all of those, and highlight my life and lifestyle will be a feature that we're doing where you can plug people into your world a little bit on our business page. And I've heard that that'll help boost engagement. You're not always after selling a product. You have to incorporate other things into your business page. So we'll be doing that. But and of course, we keep our website, and we do a lot of tagging and linking to our product directly from our Instagram. So they have that feature now that you can tag your products. So our inventory is completely linked. So we can grab and it tags our products. And they just added, I think this last week, I just thought that you can actually do a product description now. So those are our main ones, but as well as Pinterest. And so Pinterest, when you do an Instagram post, it actually will go away in 24 hours. It doesn't stick. But according to everything I've learned recently, that Pinterest, if you post on Pinterest, it'll stay for 6 months to a year, and then you can use that traction to get to your website. So I think some of them, the Facebook and Instagrams, it's all about who sees it and the algorithms and stuff like that, but Pinterest will stay around a little longer. So if you're not using that, I really recommend you add that. But but we don't put all our eggs in one basket. We're also using overall marketing. I know your question was for social media, but it's also customers, data collection at the POS, our email list. So we also do emails directly to customers. And then, all the marketing things, it's our window displays, it's our eye candy displays in the store. And so it's all those things on top of the social media. And I can talk later too, maybe about the content calendar. And I know, Emily, if you have full-time creators, which I'm tad jealous, to where you have somebody doing that, and I can only hope and dream, and so we'll have to connect sometime about pursuing that. But where there's a content calendar, and what does that look like, and I can share that more information about that if you like.
Yeah, I like that, Nicole, and I think as we let this topic unfurl a little bit, I think that'll probably come up. And I think for our guests too, something you'll hear from all of our panelists is it's a combined effort, and we understand that's very daunting. But our panel has some tips and tricks that will help you manage it so it's not as daunting to you. Emily, how do you use social media in your business life?
Well, to be quite honest, social media has been the sum total of our marketing plan and how we grew our business. So it's not technically been a traditional marketing plan. That is what drove all of our customers for local projects. That's what driven all of our audience and everything like that. So we definitely believe in the power of being able to create a thriving business around social media platforms. So we use basically all of them: TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. We use YouTube is our primary platform. Yeah. We use Pinterest. We just use all of it because we do think that there is some value in a lot of it. So the way, and one of the things that is kind of two different conversations is that we use it for our local, to attract people that want to build with us, but then we also, and people who want to learn and receive education all across the country and stuff. But then we also use it as a way to monetize parts of our business. So social media for us has been a genuine income stream. And that's kind of a different animal all in and of itself, that your business, it may or may not be of something that is of interest to you. But I do know, like, I follow quite a few like medical professionals on different platforms, that some of them have grown this into, it's a whole other business aside from their practice and stuff. So there's a lot of really cool and interesting things that a business can use social media for. And it's not just to attract your storefront client.
I love that. And again, it's to have different ways to measure the ROI, and outline the purpose of your social media will be very important again as we continue this conversation. Kimberly, how do you utilize social media in your daily business life?
Yeah, so I use Facebook, I use Instagram, I also use LinkedIn. These particular platforms, I use them for attracting new clients that want to do business with me, along with providing education for people. I know there's a lot of information out there on the internet, and so I try to focus particularly on the SEO aspect and giving marketing tips to people to enhance their performance on the internet, but most particularly in a customer aspect on Facebook. I use geofencing for my customer sponsored ads. So, for example, we had the girls and boys basketball tournament, large audience for people to attend. And what better way to utilize my customers' marketing dollars to grab that attention of those potential clients. So I actually geofenced the 3rd Street address with a 5-mile radius, because we all know we're sitting there at those basketball games, and what are people doing? They're either watching the game or on their phones. So that's how I utilize, social media and other entities of social media like geofencing.
Awesome. So I think as we get started in this conversation, everyone is probably thinking, how do I get started? Emily, can you talk about that?
Yes. So it can be very overwhelming. And at this point, 5 years later, we've progressed, and we kind of have everything. So I feel like I can really help you narrow down, though, if you're like, I want to start creating consistent content, I want to start posting on social media, using it in other marketing materials. What are the basics that I think that you can have and be really successful without going, into something that's going to be a super high dollar investment for you? So to start out, though, I know Nicole's going to talk a little bit more about covering multiple platforms and the why behind it. But if you're new to the social media arena, I would say go out onto all the major platforms and see if you can get consistent handles for your business. So finding something like, I go by Mrs. Post Frame on the internet. My husband goes by Mr. Post Frame. So whether we're really active on a platform or not, we have the handle for it. And that can be a great way to start, because then as your business grows, as your content comfortability grows, and you're posting on multiple platforms and you're seeing the benefit from it, you're not having to like scramble and say, well, now I can't get this particular handle that matches all the other ones. And your audience then, if you're talking to people, it's a great and quick and easy way to share how they can find you. I just tell people, I said, look for Mrs. Post Frame on whatever platform you use and you'll find me. So that's really kind of the very beginning of the conversation. But then when it comes to for content, what do we use? The thing that I think is all in one would be to start with your smartphone. So our personal preference for content is to have the latest iPhone Pro. So the Pros are the ones with the 3 cameras on the back. The Pro Max, the cameras are out of this world. So depending on what kind of quality you're looking for, but this also can really help you serve multiple purposes. So it can be your personal device, it can be the business phone, you know, so you're not having to juggle like all of these different things that you have to carry around with you and stuff like that. So that would be my recommendation, is the, you know, iPhone Pro series or its equivalent Android. And then because then also like the basics in your photo area, there's a really simple editing like arrangement. So it can be that you don't have to get a fancy editing program to brighten up your photos and videos. I literally on my iPhone, I'll edit something and use, I'll decrease or increase the shadows and the brightness and sometimes the warmth, and that's it. So I don't get so I'm not complicating the editing process. I'm not, you know, burdening myself with things, but it gives your videos and photos just a little bit nicer edge to it. Without, you're not filtering anything. You're not making people, you know, go, oh, that's a weird, you know, like, I don't understand, that isn't what it looks like in real life kind of a thing. So that's like the basics, is that we feel like this is and we use this all the time. We use our iPhone to create all of our short form content, that's all your vertical shot content that you would post on most of the platforms. And then we also do a lot of the horizontal shooting with it as well, now that the iPhone Pros are so advanced in their camera, their recording quality. So it's just a really good one-stop shop. And then another thing that I use with the phone is I have a gimbal, which if you guys email me, if you have questions, want me to send you like the links to stuff that I use, you know, Emily at mrpostframe.com, you can get a hold of me and stuff. But this is a DJI, sorry, brand, and they make the really good drones, they make the really good gimbals, all that kind of stuff. This is somewhere in the maybe to $130 range for a gimbal like this that holds my phone. It gives you that smooth when the phone's hooked up to it, gives you that smooth rotation. It has a toggle, so I can just move without moving. I can move the device back and forth and stuff. And then it has a detachable stand that you can set it on your counter. You can unscrew this or I do this a lot. I'll walk around and I'll hold it, because it adds that level of professionalism without overboard on your equipment setup, and just helps you not have as shaky, especially if you're kind of nervous at first about things. This kind of gives you something, so you're not like trying to hold your phone and figure out what to do. So that would be my big recommendation on your starting stuff. And then for editing your content, other like putting things together, of course, still photos are going to be that's pretty straightforward if you have a bunch of still photos and stuff like that. Video though, when you're working with video, if you want to get an outside app to put your video clips together and things like that, you can. We've used a app called Viver in the past, but if you just want to keep it super, super simple, I have found that Instagram, in their Instagram Reels is what their short form video content is called. They have a really nice, easy to use video app in it, and then you can save it from that app to your phone without an Instagram watermark on it or anything like that. And so then that can be a super easy way to get started in creating video content, to be able to cross post it, which Nicole's going to cover, and just kind of keep it consistent. It's got some different different features. You can make transitions, you can shorten or lengthen the video clips that you put all together, stuff like that. So that is a pretty very basic way to get started. But as somebody 5 years later, I'm still using that setup all the time. So it's something that's going to grow with you and just give you that professional level of quality. And then one of the big things that I would recommend before I hand it off is, out of the gate, try to find a way to organize your content that makes sense to you and your brain from the beginning. Because you 5 years later, whatever, you may have 30, 50, 100,000 images and videos, you know, to work with. And so kind of kicking it off with saying, how am I going to organize this? What makes sense for me? I use the album section of my phone, and I'll go through at night and say, you know, I've got this one called Blue Bowls Content. I have these bowls that a company sent to me. I need to make a video on it. I did all my shots and things like that. Well, I just put them all in an album so that when I go to make the content, I've got it right there and it's all organized. Or I'll do, you know, for those of you that have a storefront or your business, I'll sometimes get the house super, super clean. Everything's put away. Everything's really organized. And then I'll just walk around and I'll film our barndominium, all the rooms, and take pictures. And I'll try to do it at least seasonally. And then I'll dump them all in an album so that it doesn't matter that I might be pulling a clip from September for a piece of content today, but I don't have to try to figure out when I did that. It's all in an album that might say fall tour, you know, fall home tour or something like that. So that is, that's all I have for that section. So I'll go ahead and hand it off.
Okay, well, thank you, Emily. That's a really good, thorough way to get started. And just as a reminder, if you guys have any questions, just enter them to the chat, or I think digitally you can raise your hand as well. I think the most important thing too, Emily, is bringing yourself and obviously your business model, but your personality. And our next panelist does an excellent job of this. So I'm going to turn it over to Allissa, who's going to talk about the importance of being authentic, and not morphing trends or morphing into trends to make you fit into them, but morphing trends to fit your model. So Allissa?
Thank you so much. Yeah, so just as an example, a lot of people throw out that word authenticity and what it means to be authentic. I'll show you what it means. It means I'm wearing joggers with my nice sweater, right? That's who I am, right? I'm just showing you right now who I am. And that is not perfect all the time, right? I may look like I'm all put together, but I was scrambling to get up here on time, right? So I am just being true to who I am, and I'm being genuine in that. And that's what it means to be authentic and show up on social media. So 86% of Americans believe that transparency from businesses is more important than ever before. And that just means being open, being clear, and being honest. And that's what you want out of a friend. So that's kind of how I view it. Y'all are my friends when I show up on social media. I even talk to you. I say, hey, y'all. I'm not Southern, but somehow y'all comes out. Like, hey, guys, hey, friends. Like, I'm talking to you like I would talk to my friend. So, just be true to who you are. I think a lot of people focus on being perfectly curated. And I think that there is definitely a space for that. But I also think that not being perfect, there's a big space for that. And I think people connect with that. And I think that's what's important is you are going to connect to somebody that's going through something similar to you. So I can connect to somebody that's on a Zoom that's like, oh my gosh, I'm not wearing real pants either. Right. So, I just try to just be myself in that, and not be picture perfect all the time. I've shown up and I've been tired, and I've explained that. I've shown up and said fundraising for my nonprofit is hard, and other nonprofits can relate to that. So never forget, who you are and be true to that. I also think, I don't have 1 million followers, and I don't think that's as important anymore. The quality of your followers is way more important. So Forbes said in 2023, they estimated 4.9 billion people are using social media in the world. You don't need all 4.9 million to like you. And I don't think you would want that because you're going to get hate, man. Woo-wee. No, but you just want the people that your targeted audience. Well, who's your targeted audience? You look in your insights under your social media tab. For like Instagram, there's either dots or lines, and you can go in there and you can see where your insights are. And guess what? The insights on mine tell me that I'm part of my target audience. I'm part of most people that are following me. So it's typically women between 19 and 55, I think is what it is. Mainly actually 35 to 55. That's me. So it makes that makes it easier for me to show up because I also take in social media and I'm like, what am I saying that I like, right? Well, I'm seeing a mom that's like got her hair up in a half bun and she's like ragged and doesn't know what day it is. Same girl, same. So again, and I don't think that takes away from the products that I put out here or anything like that, because I'm going for a connection with my followers. And again, I don't have a million of them. I don't even, it's like maybe 2,500. So just to put that out there. But I think showing up as yourself, you'll make a deeper connection. You'll also encourage meaningful conversations. There's so many conversations, not so many, I don't have a ton, but I get DMs all the time of like, oh my gosh, girl, same. So, and it's so much easier. If you see me on social media, I am that same person when you meet me. So my customer is seeing me online like I am. And when they come and maybe take a tour, they come to one of my events, I am that same person. It is so much easier to show up as yourself so that you can continue to show up as yourself in everything that you do and everything you do in your business. So I think most important part for me for being authentic is just showing up and showing up often. So like I said before, I hop on every single day. I try the weekend. Nah. But every time I'm working, I think, okay, what's going on for me today? You know, oh, I'm prepping for a mommy Sundance. I'm hopping on this Zoom call to talk about social media. There's tons of things you're doing every single day. And people want to know. They're nosy. They want to know. So, yeah, I think that that's probably where I'll stop. Because I could probably talk about that all day. But also I will say, in my true authentic self, I also do have a tripod. It doesn't move and it's not fancy. And I also do have an iPhone that doesn't have 3 cameras, but it works the same. I think that's very valuable information. And I dream one day to have a nicer iPhone and the nicer tripod, but you can start anywhere. I also prop this up on a Kleenex box sometimes, or a water bottle. You don't have to have super fancy stuff, but you can make it all work. So
And I think Teddy will attest to this, just window light as well. You know, if you can face yourself towards a window, your eyes get the light from the window as well. So, yep. That's Teddy's like, I'm doing that right now. Allissa, can you talk about too, like, you're really good at keeping on the trends for TikTok, but again,
yeah.
not fitting yourself into that TikTok box. Can you talk about how you do that to make sure you're getting your message across?
Yeah. So in that same sense of being authentic, you see it all over social media. I see it every day. Somebody will take a sound and make a video that's true to themselves, and people will copy that exact same trend. They'll say, oh, right now there's a big one where there's a girl standing there and her dad comes in the video and he's like dancing, right? Everybody has recreated that. But if you're authentic to yourself and your brand and your business, you would make that makes sense to your business. So for example, I want to recreate that because I'm staying at home right now with my kids because it's spring break. And instead of like my dad coming in, it's going to be my kids, right? Because I'm trying to work and then I have a kid coming in and like dancing around, right? And so that's how I would make it true to myself and connect with my audience, because I bet most moms that are working from home right now during spring break are feeling it, right? And they just want to laugh. So and my kids want to be a part of everything like that. So I would say follow similar businesses to see what they're doing, but never copy what they're doing, because you will blend in. You only stand out if you are true to yourself. And I think that's what's helped. I will say there's really not a lot of places that I follow that are very similar to what we do. So that's been helpful in the sense that I have kind of created things just true to myself and the, nonprofit that I run. And so I can make it fun and all that. But I did hear something recently on a podcast that said, never just, don't follow. It's almost hurtful to follow somebody that does exactly what you do, because you want to do it the exact way they do it, but then you're not being true to who you are. So I don't know if I think there's a balance, right? I think follow somebody that does it like you, but do it different, and do it more true to who you are.
Very good. Thank you, Allissa, for those tips. And I think as we continue to move through the conversation, the important thing is for all of your small business owners out there who are joining this call, you guys are part of your business. So don't forget that you are just as important. I know when I go to a Brecker Price Box speaker series, Alyssa's going to be there smiling, introducing, having fun, joking, wooing for Earlham when she comes to Chamber Coffee. And I would definitely recommend following her if you have TikTok or Instagram, just to see what she does, because again, she has such a unique niche. To watch her take some of those trends for her unique niche might also help you get some of those different ideas. So we've talked about TikTok, Pinterest, Facebook. There's a lot of platforms out there. So I'm going to turn it over to Nicole, who's going to talk about how she utilizes multiple platforms to get her message out there. And the unfortunate and the good thing is that we have different ways of varying ways to connect with our customers, but sometimes it's daunting. So Nicole, can you talk about how you utilize different platforms to enhance your business?
Sure, happy to. Well, playing off of what Allissa was saying is that you got to work your social media into your everyday task of your work. Or if you think that you're just going to be able to say, I'm going to allot 4 hours to social media, it doesn't quite work that way, or it doesn't for me anyway. So working it in with your everyday and incorporating it with your you're doing, like for me, I'm doing a floor move and I set the store. It sometimes takes me, especially if it's a big spring set, or something like that, it might take me quite a few hours, and it's looking good. I'm at my finest. Like Emily was saying, her house is clean, and she's got it all shined up. That's your opportunity and capture on it. But I not only do take that opportunity and have a really good camera and a phone. I'm in the Android world, and so, but it was that investment that I see that that really paid off for me to get good quality photos as well. But then you're creating. You're going to do a little short video that you just scan your product. You're going to do some still shots, and you're going to do all at the same time, and you're picking up your camera and you're looking for opportunity that you can use later. My phone actually drops all my pictures once I hit the download button, and it automatically goes to OneDrive. So, and then I set it up so the folders are by month. So I know if I took a picture in January, February, March, then it automatically loads it all to my OneDrive. Now, in the perfect world, do I get it all done before I leave at 6:30 at night? No. So then when I get supper, I'm home and my supper's done and I'm sitting on the couch, and it just takes 5 minutes to then do the 10 minutes to take those photos that I just did. I'm launching a product. I want to feature a really good floor move that I wanted to display, whatever it is. Then it just takes a few minutes, and then I'm sitting with my phone. I've got the news on, I've got my movie on, whatever, and then I just take a few minutes, and it doesn't take that long. And then I utilize I go to usually Instagram where I can do the posts. I get a little more traction, I guess you could call it, from with my time with the Instagram. But then let's say I'm taking pictures, a whole bunch of pictures, and I want to feature a whole big collection or my whole store. I would just do a Facebook post. So that's different, and than the Instagram post. And I find that it depends on what it is that you're featuring. And then I would say that, yeah, you can schedule your posts, and if you're going to schedule your posts, you need to do it in Business Suite for Facebook. There's a lot of apps out there, but I have watched several podcasts that say that Facebook really doesn't want you to go off of their platform. So anytime you can stay and deal with Facebook, but Business Suite, if you have the Business Suite, you can have that is that's where I go live. I have a ring light with the Business Suites, and that's where I would go live. But you can also schedule your posts through there. And then you are going to be gone for the weekend. you're going to be traveling on spring break, you can schedule all those posts ahead of time. So you can actually keep your engagement consistent. So I guess we haven't talked about that either. And the key to that is when is your audience on the platforms that you are using, and those analytics that those platforms provide will show you that. But if that's a pretty advanced, and a lot of people don't like to dive into all that analytics stuff, but if I did 7:30 in the morning, you know that your customer is woke up for the day, and she's going to probably grab her phone and look at her phone before she goes to work while she's eating breakfast. Then she's going to look at her phone again, maybe at her lunch, and then at 5:30, and then maybe at 8 o'clock. So you can schedule your posts around those different times that you want. And then I strive to be a better scheduler, and I'm not, but I just do it. And so I just take a minute throughout the day, and you'll get more traction from what I understand. And nobody knows that algorithms of Facebook, and we haven't talked about that, but what I'm hearing and seeing is that little posts throughout the day is better, and then all your platforms, and something will stick. And the more you have engagement, they don't want you just to post products. It's about engagement. So I guess we haven't talked about that either, but you also have to have posts that are engaging posts, and it's letting the customer know about your product, who you are. So maybe I love Matt Damon as an actor. Why does that matter? Like it doesn't matter. Or that's a bad example maybe, I love watching the Emmys because I love to watch the dresses, and that has a tie to my business. And so then you're posting something that's engaging, and you ask a question, and you get them to comment on it, and you engage. That's what my live videos do. It's the engagement, interaction, back and forth, and so that's how you get traction. Tagging, liking other posts. So if Petite Cafe in our town is wonderful they do a plate of croissants, and they're my favorite, by the way. But anyway, and then they bring them out, and it's chaotic. And if you watch and you're standing in line, she brings that plate out, and she's like, "Oh, opportunity! They're pretty, they're perfect." She sets them in by the brick wall, and she takes a picture really quick, and then she puts them out for sale. And it just took 15 seconds to do that, and she captured her moment that then later she can use. But she wants to be sure to display that perfect plate of goodies, and that's how she does it. And Swampy Bear does a good job with, I'm just thinking of some people that I watch. Well, then I engage with those other businesses. I'm not only loving them. White Cottage Market, Jane is on here. I love her things. I'm commenting on her things, and it helps her and it helps me. So do it from your business page or your business thing. But I don't know. I kind of went off a little bit on that, but I think improving our marketing all the time and doing the scheduling posts. But here's also, I brought this. I quickly, what I did have a dry erase board, and so I do it from the piece of paper I print out free calendars, but I even have a calendar dry erase board, and I break it up. So St. Patty's Day is the 17th. So then I need to post in my mind, I need to post 20, if I'm going to do a sale on the 16th, which I'm planning, then 24 hours I need to post a teaser. So then a teaser, or 3 days before. 3 days before is the teaser, the day before it, and so you can plan it out. And I'm a visual, so I want to hang something, or I want something in my calendar to be able to spur me on, to remind me that I need to do the post. I know I went off a little bit there, but that's the scheduling, incorporating your posting in a daily. Just as I'm putting the cash in the cash register to start the day, I'm also going to do some posts, and that's the best way to incorporate your social media into your business.
Thank you, Nicole. And I'll say to the content planner that Facebook and Instagram have, it's great. That tool is great on the Meta Business Suite because if you have multiple people who are helping do your social media, like Teddy and I work very close together, I can see when Teddy has already posted something or has planned something to make sure that I'm not doing it within an hour or two after she's got something posted. Allissa, sorry to put you on the spot here, but when we had our beginning talk, you had mentioned that some platforms don't do well together as far as
Hmm.
Instagram and TikTok, I think it is. Would you mind talking about some of the lessons you've learned?
Yeah. So when I first started TikTok, I thought, oh, I will just edit my reel on Instagram and then post that reel like what was it Emily was just saying. And because you can download that video, I was doing it after it was posted, and then I would post it to TikTok. Well, then it would have the Instagram little signal on there, and TikTok doesn't like that. So if I was taking it from Instagram and editing in Instagram and then putting it into TikTok, TikTok's like, no engagement. Sorry about that. And then sometimes I would edit it. I was like, okay, well, I'll try the opposite. Same thing happened. So like Emily was saying before, you can edit it on Instagram and download it and then upload it in Instagram and post it. But then take that same video, add a little something or edit it, change the editing just a little bit too, because if we're really trying to engage, we don't want to put the same thing on multiple platforms all the time. But or at least that's maybe you are, I don't know. But I try to do it a little bit differently. And then you can upload maybe just part of that video onto TikTok and put a whole different sound on it, right? Save yourself some time. I agree with Emily, like editing any sort of short video, I think is best in Instagram. I actually have a video production background, so I've edited in lots of different, more complicated things, and I do like Instagram. I wish it would do a little bit more, but whatever. But I will say also to add on, the most engaging type of content on social media right now is short form videos, and those come off more genuine. So going back to those short forms, they could be something that goes to music. It could just be you talking. It could include pictures, right? Consume some of your social media to see what people are doing and then make your own version of that. They actually even make it so you can now take the format of a video that's already made on some videos and Instagram and TikTok, and you can create another video with that same format. It could have different pictures, different videos, but it would line up with the music exactly. I know that's a little more complicated, but I will say most engaging type of content in social media is those short videos.
Awesome. Thank you, Allissa. We're going to swing over to Kimberly, who does a great job of dealing with accessibility and how to make your videos the most accessible and accessible to all of your audience. Something I've learned here at the chamber when I first started is in Winterset, we actually had a really thorough deaf community here. And so when I started posting videos, I did not realize that closed captionings were very important. And it wasn't until one of those community members who said, I have no idea what you're saying. So YouTube kind of became my best friend, but I'm going to turn over to Kimberly, who's going to talk about some of the resources that are available to be accessible. Kimberly?
Yeah, so I also encountered a situation too where I was putting out videos and someone reached back to me and said, you know, I can't understand. So I did some research in regards to videos, especially on Instagram, and I use a software called Veed, Veed. This particular software integrates with my videos on Instagram and provides closed caption on my videos. So particular audiences can see my videos and engage better. In addition to that, with accessibility, come 2026, the federal government is going to mandate that all websites be ADA compliant. And when I mean by ADA compliant, I mean the American Disabilities Act. So recently there was a judgment granted to an individual that went to Marriott's website. He was colorblind and could not make a reservation on Marriott's website. And he actually sued Marriott and actually won that judgment. So, like I've mentioned before, the federal government is going to mandate websites ADA compliant. So I would definitely check into that with your web designers right now to see if your websites are ADA compliant, what that's going to consist of moving forward, any additional cost. Now, if your website is currently ADA compliant now, I have forwarded information onto the chamber. This particular document talks about tax credits that you can receive as a business owner for your website being ADA compliant. So you take that document, there are certain tax codes on there. Your CPA is the expert when it comes to those tax codes, but this year there is some tax credit if your website is currently ADA compliant.
And Kimberly has shared a document with me, so I will send out this email to you guys with the recording in case you want to refer back to it, but it will also include Kimberly's document as well.
Yeah, and if you have any additional questions about that ADA compliance, you can reach out to me via my email or text message.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions about social media marketing?
I have a few things to follow up on.
Yeah, please,
But
Emily.
and we'll have more of these. I think we all agreed that like this is just scratching the surface, and so we'll probably deep dive into some of these particular topics. But just as a testimony to what Allissa said about creating content true to yourself, and looking, not always following people who do exactly what you do, but looking for inspiration in other places. Literally, we started our YouTube channel because I had been watching beauty tutorial videos, and I was like, this format of like reviewing things and talk and showing how to do things and stuff. And I told my husband, I said, well, why couldn't you just do a beauty video, but it was construction related? And so that is like kind of looking around and watching things and saying, what do you feel like you connect with in terms of like style of content, or getting inspiration for those other places. So I'm watching a variety of content all the time that isn't hard, a lot of it isn't related to our industry at all, but it really does inspire something in it. And then also just, we'll have to dive deeper into this, but the types of platforms, while I think that we do cross post a lot of the same content and maybe just tweak a few things, the platforms do seem to cater themselves to different types of audiences and different types of content sometimes. So like, for example, on TikTok, I do a ton of comment response videos, and that's how I gain a lot of traction and things like that. Because TikTok for us seems to be the place where there's a lot more controversial audience. So it's a lot of like, if you like to like get in there and like spar with people and stuff like that, that seems to be the audience that you can really get a lot of that engagement to. But then I can also say that TikTok's driven a ton of our web traffic. So it was just enough to get somebody interested in wanting to go find out more. But yeah, I do tons of those responses to people. Sometimes I'm kind of sarcastic in my videos on TikTok and things like that, but it gets the engagement rolling, you know, that way and stuff. So if that's kind of your forte, and if it's not your forte, if you're like, I feel too scared to like have my feelings hurt, that's probably not the platform to start on, because you will get your feelings hurt for sure. And then yeah, another business suite, what everybody's echoed, that's an amazing place. You can schedule Instagram and Facebook content from it. And so that could be a really great like starting point for everybody to be able to like organize it, see it really well, have your team participate, that type of thing.
Yeah, I have a good point off of that. I was just reading today that Facebook still has the most amount of people on it for a platform. And so I think that Facebook is a great way to start. And the fact that it can link up to Instagram only makes it easier. And we all started not knowing a single thing. And what we've all done is tried something and saw if it worked. I mean, there was forever. So I've been up here, I'm on my 6th year up here. And in the beginning, I wasn't posting every day, and I wasn't able to, right? And so, but I was posting maybe once or twice a week. And then it grew. It's like, oh, can I do 4 posts this week? Oh, can I start doing this every single day? And I think you'll just, as you engage more in social media, you'll find that you're almost looking for ways to show how you're showing up on social media. So like for instance, I'd love to get a little selfie with everybody because I need something for social media. So ready, everyone say cheese. It's Emily, but that's fine. So you know what I mean? Like, I'm always kind of looking, you'll just get used to looking for ways that you can show up, but just start with a post on Facebook, right? Just sharing something about what you do and then just build. It is hard for all of us that kind of do this every single day to be like, how did we start? Like, where did this all start? But Facebook is what I found is a great place to start.
I agree. And I think I've shared the story with our panel before, but in my arena, I get to work with all of the amazing people in different chambers. And the Grimes chamber, the ladies over there, definitely give them a follow. And you know, they do differently than we do. Are fortunate that we are able to do tourism, and they focus on just the chamber and economic development. So we are a different avenue, but I can tell you every time I'm going to a conference, these ladies are going to make me crack up. And that is exactly who you get in their TikTok videos. And it could be as simple as Shrek's like donkey saying, I like that boulder. That's a nice boulder. And they're out at a park shooting a random rock just to showcase that, you know, they have places to come and visit, and it's that background noise, you know. So they do a really good job of just everyday business things as far as folding envelopes and invitations, and they have a little quote for that. You know, it's mundane things that also maybe you find joy in or find humor in. Share that with your audience. Let them know that you're willing to laugh as you're stuffing 400 invitations for an event, or fulfilling an order for market promotions. So since there's no other questions, I'm going to turn it over to Kimberly. Is she still here? I think she bounced off. Never mind. The other thing that this will tie into is Nicole and Allissa have both said is your website. Sorry, and Emily too. Driving its traffic from your Instagram, your social media drives traffic to your website. So as you're doing analytics, be curious. Don't get frustrated. Just look at it with the curiosity of this worked, this didn't. And also look at your website analytics. And also know that when you see that traffic in your website analytics, be sure to Google yourself. Because as Kimberly had mentioned, SEO, which is search engine optimization, happens when you Google yourself, when you are having traffic driven from your social media platforms. And as a chamber member as well, you being listed in our directory pops you up. The more your engagement happens, the more you are further up the search results for Google. So just take a moment to say, you know, vintage places in Winterset and see who pops up. And look at that maybe every month. Do that same search again. And and I don't know where I was going with that, but search engine optimization is something that we'll continue a conversation on. So does anyone else have any questions? Okay.
Well, oh,
Yeah,
sorry, Amber.
Teddy, go ahead.
Just a couple of things about that. If I hadn't regularly Googled the Madison County or Winterset, I wouldn't have known that we're currently in the running for 3 travel awards through USA Today. It just happened to come across. So I had no idea that we were picked on this list of 20 towns across the US. But it came up in these search results. And so now we can promote that and hopefully end up in first place, but you never know. The other thing I was going to mention is YouTube. Just a personal anecdote, but it really surprised me who uses YouTube and how they use it. I figured it was just my kids, my teenagers who live on YouTube, but my 85-year-old father lives on YouTube. He has it connected to his TV and he plans all his travel on YouTube, watching videos of people who travel around and then they film themselves, hiking a trail. And it doesn't hurt that they're usually blonde, attractive women. But don't think that it's just kids using TikTok or using YouTube, because some adults, including seniors who have the time to travel or may have the means to shop, etc., aren't on there as well. So definitely look at that. And then I know I'll be covering some additional tools, social media, online tools at our Chamber 101, which is coming up. I think the 26th, Amara, in the evening.
Yep.
And that includes claiming your free listing on traveliowa.com. If you are in any way travel related, have a service or a retail store, lodging or something like that for travelers. So we'll go over that and some other tips on increasing like your followers on Facebook and things like that. So hopefully you can join us. That will be in person. So that is it.
Thank you, Teddy.
But great ideas, everybody. Yeah.
Okay, well, I will let you guys go. Thank you for joining us. I will be following up, as I said, an email with all of our panels, email addresses and social media handles so you can take a look at them. I will share that document that Kimberly mentioned and this recording as well. And then I'd love to have your feedback. How did you feel about this? Do you feel like we covered everything you expected? Is there something you would like us to cover? We'd like to continue this conversation probably every quarter. So if you have any ideas or any questions that you'd like answered, please email me back and let me know how we can support you. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful spring day, and we will see you around.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.